And then again, grab the fabric and pull up away from the black insert, okay, and then put firm pressure on the grips. Hi mamas, I'm Shen and welcome back to my channel at Mama Banana, where I share hacks, tips and reviews on products made just for mamas. So today I have a really fun tutorial for you. So I'm going to show you how to correctly use these KAM plastic snap button tutorial to install your plastic snap buttons. I'm going to show you the correct technique so that the snap button closure is properly secured onto your garment. And as with all my videos, I'm going to include lots of little tips within the video itself, and at the very end I'm going to give you some examples on little projects that I have done. So let's get straight into the tutorial. So let's just get into what I'll be using for this project. So I'm just going to use a full set of snaps. Okay, so I have the backing here. These are the ones that look like thumbtacks. It has the little pin here at the top. So there's one for the back of each of these, and then we have the female button, so that part goes in, and then we have the male button and the little bit of plastic comes out. So these fit into each other and the cover goes to the back of each of these pieces. And then we have the tool itself here. Okay, when you press down, you need to make sure you press down nice and firm. And just make sure you have the correct insert here for the size of the snap buttons. Okay, so depending on the kit that you get, there might be several different one of these inserts, so you need to make sure it's the right size that's within it. So the snap buttons should fit in just right. And then you have an awl here, and this is just your pokey tool for poking a hole to help with the installment of these snap buttons. So for today's project, I am going to be installing a snap button on these overalls for my little daughter. She just gets so impatient when it comes to dinner time, so she doesn't have the patience to wait for me to tie the knot on this. So I am going to use the snap buttons so I can put this on her quicker. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out exactly where I want the snap buttons. Okay. I'm going to grab the female button here. I just like to have this as a marker for sizing to make sure it fits all around. Put it all through it and then see exactly where I want it. Okay, and I'm going to poke it through the first part here. That's where I want it. And then I'm going to poke it through the second piece of fabric together at the same time. So if you're going to put a button on something like, let's say, a handmade wallet, you'd want to be poking through the two holes together at the exact same time like I'm doing here. That way you'll know that the buttons will overlap exactly where they should. Okay, so there's a tip for you. So I'm just going to shove my awl back and forth a little bit to make sure that hole is going to be very prominent when I take it out. Okay. So then I'm going to pop the snap button on at the back here, and then grab my male button and put that on top. Okay, and over it. And slide it into the tool here. Now, the key technique here is to grab the fabric and then pull up to the top, okay? And if you pull this here, it'll push the snap button and the female or male button, either or, up towards the top. And then that's when you press down, and that will ensure that the little piece of plastic in the center goes down all the way through the middle, which ensures that it is very, very secure. And there you have it. Right. And now we will do the other side. Okay, so I'm going to pop the backing into here. And then I'm going to pop the female button over. And the cover goes onto the black insert here. Slot it in. And then again, grab the fabric and pull up away from the black insert. Okay. And then put firm pressure on the grips and close. press quite hard. And that is in. So now when dinner's ready, I just whip this on my daughter and snap it closed and she's ready to eat. I don't have to fiddle with these strings, which she has absolutely no patience for. Just going to show you a couple of little projects that I've done. So here I have a mini wet bag and I added the snap button on. It actually didn't have a snap button, it was like this. So I just cut it down here, I sealed it with the lighter, and then I add a snap button here so that I can actually loop this around whatever it is I might need to. It's good to have the option. And then I have these nappy covers, okay, for my daughter, and they are huge on my little one. So I added these rows of snap buttons here so that I can create a rise and close it up to make the nappy smaller so that it will fit my littlest one as well. This is actually a great idea if you have any covers. Just make sure that you keep the snap buttons up kind of high so that there won't be any leaks. I've used this several times on my daughter and there hasn't been any leaks from these buttons. It's because the cover fits so well, the back of these covers, so that it's not really going to let any liquids out. But even still, make sure that you have them up high towards the front. Okay, and then I have some CSPs here, cloth sanitary pads. I got these ones from Little Lamb, which I absolutely love. I have a 10% discount link. I'll include that down below if you're interested in cloth nappies or CSPs. But they only had one set of buttons here. I think it was these two, okay? And it was too loose on my knickers, so they moved around a lot. Didn't like that, so I added snap buttons here. And it was actually, it's for the likes of these, that's very important when you are making the hole with the awl, that you poke it through together at the same time so that you have the snap buttons fitted exactly where you want them. Okay, so now when I put them on my underwear, I have two snaps and it is way more secure and it doesn't move around. Okay, and then also I have one of these large cloth sanitary pads. I use these at night time. Okay, and I added extra buttons on the side here. Okay, so that again it's more secure and it won't move around. I find nearly all of these cloth sanitary pads, they only have one button except for the likes of Charlie Banana, which is quite pricey. So if you can add the extra snap buttons on yourself, it just makes it a lot more secure. Just a tip is to make sure you put these on a pair of knickers first and then measure up exactly where you want the buttons. So if your knickers get really wide around here, then you don't want the snap buttons out here, you want them out somewhere else, okay? And then also my youngest, she is extremely skinny. She's in the 0.5 percentile weight range. So trousers that fit her along the legs won't necessarily fit her around the waist. So what I do is I have snap buttons on the waist so that I can just pinch it closed and it's automatically a bit smaller. There's no stitching required. Okay, just make sure you have these around the area where their nappies would be so that it won't dig into them when they lie on their backs. And then I've also added them to my Baba and Boo nappies. So there's actually wasn't a female button here so that you can fold these over and close them after you stuff them. So I added a button here. I like stuffing my nappies and then closing them up and then stacking them. And I like all my nappies to be the exact same. So it was important to have a little button here for me. And I don't know, if your child is particularly small and all, you can also customize your nappies down with these snap buttons to adjust them to fit your child better. But you know, once you get one of these and you start using it and you can use it well, you're going to be looking around for anything else that you can add a snap to. It gets so addictive and it's so much fun. Another something else to do during these times, and the best thing is that there is no sewing involved. I'm not a seamstress by any means. So thank you so much for watching my tutorial on how to install a snap button using the snap button tool. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking that button down here. I need 1,000 subscribers before I can monetize this channel, and your support will be greatly appreciated. I upload a new video every week. So make sure to tune in next week. So until then, thank you and goodbye.